Hello, my name is Wolfgang Carstens, and welcome to Poets Underground, a poetry show that celebrates and showcases the best and the brightest authors currently working the marrow in contemporary poetry. My guest tonight is Mr. R.D. Armstrong, live via satellite from Long Beach, California. Mr. Armstrong's books include Fire and Rain, Volumes 1 and 2, El Pagano and Other Twisted Tales, On Off the Beaten Path, and most recently E/OR, Living Amongst the Mangled, a scathing look at the American healthcare system. Mr. Armstrong is also publisher at Love Express, whose works include such notable authors as the late Todd Moore, the legendary John Yamris, Packard Award-winning author William Taylor Jr., Rob Plath, and one of my favorite poets, Mr. Henry Denander. Welcome, R.D.
Welcome. I guess I should say howdy.
Howdy. How's things there in Long Beach?
Well, it's sunny. It was blue today and kind of hot, and the guys were scraping the house getting ready to paint it, which was very annoying.
Sounds like an average day in the life of a poet. I want to be the first to congratulate you on 20 years of publication for Lum Express. Congrats, man. You know, when most small presses have the life cycle of a fruit fly, that's quite an accomplishment. So congrats, my friend.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
You know,
I can't really believe it's been 20 years, to be honest.
Well, I tell you, man, that is absolutely amazing. Great tenacity, great staying power. I want to ask you, you've been publishing for about 2 decades. Now, how has your work evolved from when you started up until present day?
Well, gosh, that's a difficult question to answer in 10 seconds. Well, I don't know, my stuff started out sounding kind of Bukowski-esque, and I've sort of evolved as I've interacted with other poets. I mean, William Taylor, you mentioned, and Rob Plath, these guys had an influence on me, I'd say. And, now I'm writing in this sort of pseudo kind of beatnik style that, I'm going to start identifying with Allen Ginsberg and hanging out in San Francisco, and maybe I'll just get gay or something.
Well, all the power to you, brother. I want a key element to this show is to let the poet read his poetry, give them a voice. So, Mr. Armstrong, how about you give us a nice, healthy 15-minute dose of poetry?
Well, roll up your sleeve, my friend, and tie it off, because here it comes. This is actually a Bukowski-esque poem. It's called Death Comes Stumbling, and it's from Fire and Rain, Volume 1. Death comes stumbling through an open door. Any door will do. Death isn't too choosy these days. Death is overworked and underpaid, a day late and $1 short. Death wants to take some time off, but is understaffed and can't get away, even for a coffee break. I think about death differently ever since that morning in January when death spun me around and dropped me on the floor like a rag doll. My life flashing before my eyes, the thread that tied me to this life unraveling while you smiled and nodded at me. Death isn't that melodramatic departure that I dreamed of as a child, or that martyred sacrificial lamb dropped in the service of some great calling, nobility of sacrifice or some kind of bullshit that I mistakenly longed for as a young adult. And most likely death will not come for me like an old friend in my old age to ease my ancient suffering. Death will keep taking pot shots at me like a weekend plinker, riddling that roadside sign until it drops onto the shoulder of the highway, more air than sign. Death will pick me off like a scab, one piece at a time. Here's another one. This is from Eeyore. Life Among the Mangled. Every 6 weeks for the last 2 years, I've gone to the hospital for observation for my foot injury. It's an all-day chore, sometimes an ordeal, but mostly it's just a lot of boredom and waiting punctuated by moments of wonder/horror. The hospital I go to serves a lot of indigents and poor folks, mostly Spanish speaking, so the hours pass in a cacophony of words I don't understand. This alone can drive you crazy, but it's just another challenge to be endured. You wait to be admitted. You wait to see the doctor. And since it's a training hospital, it's usually a doctor you've never seen before. And you wait for the doctor in an examination cubicle. And while I'm waiting to see the doctor, I work on a crossword puzzle until I start to go mad from boredom and isolation. My isolation being that alone in the crowd type. My fellow patients are usually fairly chipper, chattering away with each other, talking on their cell phones. They all look okay, though some sport corrective shoes or braces or the special casts that I remember quite well. A cast that can be removed, designed to protect the foot or what's left of it. But you can't tell who is missing what until you walk down the corridor to your cubicle. And it's then that you see all manner of devastation as you pass. Half toes, no toes, feet that no longer look like feet, more like stubs, horrible sights on people you were just listening to out in the waiting room. People who appear to be normal. I almost feel guilty for possessing my 10 little piggies, although now that's 9. Even if my right foot has developed a condition known as Charcot, where the bones of the foot begin to spread apart like logs on a raft where the lashings have failed. And it being a training hospital, fledgling doctors concoct fantastic solutions to the problem, allowing them to practice their skills as surgeons, as healers, as if we are nothing more than lab rats for their education, fodder for the advancement of medicine. One doctor suggests surgery to rebuild and reshape the bones of my foot, slicing and dicing, attaching pins and screws, holding it together, while the next one on a later visit says it is stabilized and won't get any worse or any better. Quietly, I'm thinking they won't be happy until they've gotten me on the amputation table down the line, and then I'll just be like my compadres in the waiting room. Maybe my Spanish will improve, too. I gotta take a sip of water. Thank you. That's a pretty long poem for you drunks out there to comprehend, but thanks for the applause.
Whatever, dude, it made me wet.
Okay, we haven't got started yet. All right. I got something from later myself. The Queen of Harbor City.
That's awesome.
I used to be a go-go girl, and fuck, look at me now. I'm working on my MFA. That's the first thing she said. It seemed innocent at the time, but I learned soon enough that it was a very thin veneer. You should come over sometime and let me cook you dinner. I have rolled that over in my head over the subsequent years, trying to look at it from every angle, trying to break the code. It's funny how 11 words can say so little about what lay in ambush beyond that meal. I'm no good with women. I only say that because I'm always single. Even Bukowski was married twice by my age. I always keep up hope. Unfortunately, I'm not a very good judge of what's best for me. They say you marry your mother, but I haven't found her yet. You'd think it would be easy given how fucked up everyone is these days, but so far, my record is perfect. All right, here's another poem, which is kind of Bukowski-esque also. It's like I began with a Bukowski poem, and I'm going to end with a Bukowski poem, unless you want me to go on after this. I don't know what time it is.
All right, you're doing good, brother.
How what?
You're doing excellent, my friend.
Okay. All right, well, this is called Poetics, and I guess everybody in the world has written a poem called Poetics, or what's that other one? Ars Poetry. This is not my Ars Poetry, though. This is Poetics. Today in the checkout at Ralph's, which is a supermarket down here in the lower 48, the checker asks me, "Do you know Carlos Bukowski?" Carlos, I think. "I know Charles Bukowski. Why?" "Please don't be insulted, but you remind me of him. It's the week before Buke's 90th birthday, even though he died almost 20 years ago, and plans to celebrate the glory that is everything Buke happened in Los Feliz this Saturday night in a party for the Bukowski faithful, and I, one of the forgotten of his ardent fans, is being confused for the old goat down here in Long Beach." "Yeah," I told the checker, "I get that a lot. Me and Buke, we go way back." "That's cool," she says, as she gives me a deal on the Jif peanut butter I just bought. At last, my association with Bukowski is finally paying off. How are we doing on time?
You know what? You're doing good, my friend. You know, I want to ask you, do you have a poem that best embodies the philosophy behind your work? You know, like, what are the key elements that go into a Rain Dog poem?
Well, you know, I have a poem like that, but unfortunately it's on my other computer.
Okay. So what are the key elements that are pushing everything forward? What's the glue that's holding everything together?
Okay, well, let's see. When I first started out doing this, I had a different idea about what my goal was. And over the years, my idea of what my goal was kind of slowly evolved. And what my goal is at the moment is to try and, how should I put this delicately? I don't want to offend any potential poets in the room. Try and eliminate 90% of the bullshit that's published as poetry on the internet.
Right on.
Because I really feel like since you can find somebody to publish any damn thing that you come up with, you know, and it really has lowered the bar as to what good poetry is. So it's really hard for fledgling poetry presses and poetry reading groups and whatever like that to appreciate what good poetry is. And I can tell you for a fact that I'm sure that Bill Taylor would agree with me on this, because it's been a long, rough climb getting to this point. You know, he's had more success at it than I, but still, it's hard, man. It's hard on the street, man. So I would say my goal right now is to try and help educate the masses.
Right on, brother. Now, if you wouldn't mind, please absolutely continue.
Well, that's what I was asking you in terms of a time frame. I need actual physical numbers.
Physical numbers.
Yeah.
You know what,
How
man?
much time is left?
We're good. We have almost 15 minutes.
I thought we did 15 minutes.
No, you were going to do 15 minutes.
I mean, we haven't even started yet?
No, we were doing 27 minutes. You did about 7.
Oh, shit. All right, well, gosh.
Come on, drop some bombs on us, brother.
I'm gonna reach into the vault and start yanking stuff out blindly. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay, I thought I was supposed to do 15 minutes for this show, but all right, cool. Let me see here. You want to hear some sappy shit?
Sure, Steve. Whatever, man. It sounds great.
I was trying to portray myself as this tough motherfucker from Long Beach, and so I dragged out all my tough poems there, you know, and
Blood in and blood out.
I just kind of got a little weird. So, well, here, let me just grab something from. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, yeah, this will work. This is in relation to what we were just talking about. It's called crap. The smoothing out of wrinkles might make a bed or your face look better. but it doesn't make for a better mousetrap, artistically speaking. Nowadays, any fool with a paintbrush is called genius. Any clod with a piece of paper becomes poet. Any bozo with an amplifier is a god. No offense to the blues player. Affirmative action might be good for business, but leveling the playing field and organizing the players into teams sanitizes the mystery and wonder of this blood sport we call life. The foundation of genius is built on crap, mountains of it, stables full, crap being cranked out by every asshole with a dream. We squat and squeeze and out it comes. Behold, art. It's controversial. It stinks. It draws flies. It's what's left over after you extract the essence of life. And it's a lasting monument to our time spent here on this tiny rock, swirling into oblivion.
Right on, brother. You know, if that's your sappy shit, I think I just figured out why you're still single, man.
Well, that ain't even half of it, man. That isn't really my sappy shit. That was just something I grabbed for a second there. Now I'm gonna go grab something else here. Let me see. There it is. Okay. There we go. The Wonders of the Computer. This is a poem about audio asphyxia, but it's not the type where you hang yourself in a closet like David Carradine did. This is more along the lines of, you apply the slip knot directly to your penis, to get the maximum satisfaction. And I discovered this one day while I had my boots out and I had the shoelaces undone. And I tell you, if you're adventurous enough to try this at home or at the bar, you can try it at the bar, I suppose. I mean, what the hell? Take a shoelace from your shoe and tie it to your dick. But make sure your foot has been lifted up so that when you put your foot down, you get the full, erotic, stretching, kind of effect. You know what I mean? Okay.
Junior hockey used to do that. Penis to penis.
Oh, really? All right. Well, here's my poem about that.
All right, I'll give you a proper introduction. A love poem by Rain Dog Armstrong.
It's called String Theory. A few days ago, I made a monumental discovery. I found that if I tied a string around my dick, I could get an erection. At first, I used a rubber band, which turned out to be overkill. Since it got so tight, I thought it would sever my dick. It gave me an incredible heart, but fear of damaging it took away from the pleasure of the moment. It's been over 2 years since I could get it up at all, but now I wonder if I ever find someone to test it out on, as there are some kinks that must be worked out. I need a little field testing, if you know what I mean. I wonder what else could be fixed by strangling. What about Congress or the government? I wonder if the Senate could be stimulated into action by some well-placed slip knots. Or perhaps instead of a prayer before the Senate gets down, they could attend an auto asphyxia session on the Senate floor. A place where many a circle jerk has already happened in the name of the American public. Thank you.
Right on. I want to ask you, you have a CD coming out called Eyes Like Mingus. Or no, it is out now. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Actually, it's not a CD, it's just a download.
Okay, and how did this project come about?
I was contacted by a friend of mine in New York named Hank Bukema, and he said, hey, check out this YouTube video. And I turned on the video, and it was Hank's voice reading a poem with a little scene in the background, to make it look like it was a video, but really it was just an audio. And I thought, damn, those words are really good, man. Hank's really getting good as a poet. And then I thought, listened again, and I thought, wait a minute, those are my words. That Hank is getting really good as a thief. All right. So I contacted him and I said, dude, that's really nice. And he says, yeah, I'm in trouble with YouTube for using, because it had some jazz playing in the background. He said, they're real mad at me for using this because I don't own it. And I said, well, that's cool. Give me the recording without the music, and I'll put music behind it. And that's how it came about.
Wow, what an excellent idea. But it's
So,
not you reading, though. It's Hank reading.
I know you're disappointed, but he sounds so much better than I sound.
Right.
And, I'm going for that Rod McEwen thing,
So let me ask you, what do you have coming up next? What's next for Rain Dog?
Well, if I get through this night, hopefully a good shot before I go to bed. And well, let's see. In the near future, I'm putting out another issue of the Lumix Anthology, this annual thing I'm doing now. And I'm happy to say that a certain Canadian poet from the Edmonton area is in it, and along with about 175 other poets. And so it's a cool thing. And let's see, I just published a book about how to improve poetry by, teaching and whatnot, which I'm pushing like crazy at the moment because I have a feeling that it might actually sell enough copies that I can almost pay myself a salary, which would be nice. And then I got a few more books to publish, and then it'll be the end of the year, and then after that I'm going up to Seattle for some big conference.
Right on. So, I know we have a good taste of Rain Dog here. What can the audience at Ground Zero tonight expect from you?
Pretty much what they already heard, because I think I read about half of the set that I prepared. No, I was kidding. Maybe just a third. I'm going to give it my best. If I can keep my voice from going out, I might have to switch over to non-alcoholic beer, but
Right on, brother. Now, hey, is it possible, can I try The Poem Will Save You to you right now?
Can you try what?
Can I try the Poem Will Save You? Can I get you to read that? Do you have that handy?
I happen to have it handy. I was going to close out my second set with it, so if anybody stays around that long, that might be a good time to go to the bathroom. So.
Well, keep in mind, too, this is a totally different thing, so it'll be a totally different audience. You know what? We got 5 minutes. If you want to rifle that one out, then we'll have a few minutes to talk, and we'll call it a night.
Okay, I'm looking for it right now. I'm scrolling. Oh, here we go. Here it is. All right. Ready?
Absolutely.
Are you ready? Okay. The Poem Will Save You, from a line by Charles Bukowski. It's the middle of May, and a warm tropical rain is falling, turning dusty streets into greasy ones. I'm reading the newest book of poesy from my favorite, now dead poet, and marveling at his clarity and the strength of his lines. He said it, the poem will save your ass from madness. The poem will save you while fat drops of acid rain descend, while the bills pile up, while the paint peels, while you wait and wait and wait for something to change. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it's something. The poem will save you while your auto insurance climbs, while the phone screams your name, while the pipe calls to you from the other room, while your heart considers the pros and cons of early retirement, while the babies scream for attention, while your mind begins to go, while lovers dream of each other, while you dream of becoming someone else, while hookers hook and junkies jump, and the stoner gets steadily dimmer, while the whole country flatlines from a bad batch of crystal, while the beer goes flat, while the women come and go, while you jerk into the hollow memories of their brief laughter, while someone lets the air out of your tires and the wind out of your sails and the joy out of your days, while the life seeps out of your windows and each breath takes you farther away from life and closer into death's final orbit, while the warranty on your VCR runs out, while the internet sucks you dry, while the open grave waits patiently, and the orange waits to be peeled, and the lights flicker, and the ground moves, and the really important stories wait to be sold, and the needle crawls across the floor at 3 a.m. like an inchworm, while you wait for its promise of happy stupidity, while you binge on lollipop dreams and power and glory, while they plot the next turn in your life, while the streets are overrun with anger and revenge, while you grab as much of the pie as you can carry, while the 911 call goes unanswered, while the oven begins to look very inviting, while you place a razor blade on your tongue and swallow, while you eat all the right food groups and still get cancer, while you starve to death on a diet of empty promises, stillborn dreams, and low-fat hopes, the poem will save you. The poem will save you.
Right on, brother. That's excellent. You know
There
what,
you go.
Mr. Armstrong, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Poets Underground today. Thank you very much. If you guys want to know more, you can check out more at www.lummoxpress.com. My name is Wolfgang Carstens. I hope you'll join me next time when my guest will be Acard Award-winning author William Taylor Jr. Thank you and good night.